لطالما كان العقار من أبرز الأصول الاستثمارية التي ينظر إليها المستثمرون. هلأ مش بس المستثمرين، لأنه القرار بشراء العقار أحيانا بيكون عاطفي بالمقام الأول. ليش؟ لأنه بدنا نأسس أسرة. أحيانا بيكون استثماري بشكل كامل، وأحيانا بيكون الهدف منه تأمين إقامة في دولة أخرى. لكن بغض النظر عن السبب، هو من أهم القرارات الاستثمارية. والخارطة العقارية بتتغير على طول، يعني دائما في أسواق ساخنة هوت ماركتس، وأحيانا في أسواق تمرق بمرحلة تصحيح. لكن الأساس هو التغيرات السياسية والتغيرات الاقتصادية حول العالم بتغير من مكانة الدول. حاليا إيطاليا هي من أكثر الدول جذبا للاستثمار العقاري، وهون تختلف الأسباب. من الأسباب الأساسية تشريعات ضريبية مميزة تجذب أصحاب الملايين. في الحقيقة بال2025 من المتوقع أن تجذب إيطاليا 3600 مليونير. هذا بيجعلها ثالث أكبر دولة في العالم جذبا لما يعرف بالموبايل ويلث أو الثروة المتنقلة في 2025. لكن كمان ما ننسى اللايف ستايل. احنا بنحكي عن إيطاليا، البلد اللي طلعت لدولتشي فيتا. بكل الأحوال لنعرف أكثر عن الاستثمارات العقارية، معي واحدة من أهم وكلاء العقارات الإيطالية في لندن. معي دانييلا ديوتي. دانييلا لها خبرة باع طويل بالعقارات، مش بس الإيطالية، العقارات البريطانية أيضا، وهي أسست دانييلا ديوتي Property Solutions. نحكي معاها في بودكاست Nader Over Dinner. Daniela, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, for this kind invitation. It's such a pleasure, by the way, being here and talking to my beautiful native country.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And the pleasure is ours. And without telling people how old we are, we just want to touch base on a statement that is very repetitive nowadays. Milan is the new London of the 90s. Is it true?
Yeah, there are so many similarities between the two countries, or the two cities, let me say, London and Milan. But lovely memories, by the way, because we are talking about 30 years ago.
Yes.
But in any case, yeah, I clearly remember London in the 90s. There was an amazing energy with opportunities at every corner. And European and international investors going back and forth to the city. It was amazing, literally amazing. And, let me say, opportunities at every corner. And, queues everywhere. I remember that, in London in the 90s, even booking a table in a restaurant was pretty much a challenge.
Yeah.
But by the way, Milano is now experiencing an atmosphere, very sparkling, vibe like that one. And in my opinion, what makes Italy with Milan at its heart more appealing, probably than the past, it's definitely the promising of a better tax and political stability.
Correct.
Along with, if I may say, that special framework that is very much appreciated by wealthy newcomers. Yeah, but there is another strong driver that really is helping this trend, and is represented by the flat tax on foreign incomes. At the beginning, was set by the Italian government, of course, and the beginning was set at 100,000 per year, but in August 2024 has been increased to 200,000. Per year.
So Daniela, just to make it clear, this is a flat tax, meaning no matter how much money you make abroad or inside Italy, you pay 200,000 euros a year, regardless your wealth, regardless how much money you're making, inside or outside.
Just a clarification. You pay up to 100,000 on foreign incomes.
Okay.
So that means that all your properties or your incomes,
businesses, whatever,
companies, whatever, you pay 200,000.
Up to.
That's it.
Maximum
one. So you can imagine, for millionaires, billionaires, paying 200,000 per year.
And I can imagine this is a reason why a lot of the wealthy in London decided to move.
That's the reason why. Absolutely, 100%. So you can imagine that clear incentive, together with the booming Italian real estate, that honestly and objectively is marked by beauty, along with, come on,
it is.
along with, the high standards and reputation that, made in Italy, represents worldwide across countries, of course, has completely transformed Milan in a natural and true, international hub. And let me say, Mohammed, the numbers speak clearly. So Italy is expecting in 2025 3,600 millionaires, making it the third globally country most appealing for mobile wealth.
It's very obvious, and this is what I highlighted in my introduction. But Daniela, what did all of this do to the property market?
So, of course, we are talking about the rise of, talking about Milan, of course. So we are talking about the rise of a city whose destiny was to become a true international hub. Able, by the way, to compete with others worldwide and to do it in such a highly competent way. So now the result is that Milan is experiencing a very strong request from the world, a very strong demand. So the point is that if the demand will continue to grow, at least at this level, at some point Milan will experience probably some issues with the supply and prices will tend to go higher. Well, Mohammed, we know that when prices climb too high, there may be some risks for buyers, for lenders, and for the property market itself. But the point is that this strong interest, this strong demand has transformed Milan in a city for super rich. And if you want to get my point of view, I think that this trend will continue, again, at least at this level, until other competitors, on brackets, of course, I mean other international hubs, international hubs similar to Milan. London is one of them.
Yeah, and they come into play. Yeah.
They introduce a certain, let me say, better, degree of political and tax,
combination. It's a very important combination.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
So with this combination right now, with Milan, you're just telling me it's becoming more and more of a place for the super rich.
Yeah.
What prices are we talking about?
So this is an interesting point because talking about, the property market in that city, in the last 10 decades.
That's 10 years.
10 years, yeah. So the property market has been completely reshaped with prices increase up to 60%. 60%. And it achieved a price of about an average one of 5,500. Of course.
Per square
meter. Sorry, I was saying for square foot, not per square meter, of course. If we decide to focus our attention on, prime central Milano, that is equal like My Fair in London, or let me say Zone 1 in London, just to get an example.
Okay.
And in locations like Quadrilatero, that is a fantastic Italian postcard, or Imbrera, which is an Italian gem. Everything there is perfect, even if it's not, but everything there is perfect.
Yeah, the price is perfect.
And the price is perfect.
Yeah.
Or if we go a little bit further, like Milano Porta Nuova or City Life, with their amazing gentrification, we can reach the 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 per square meter.
Residential, Daniela?
Residential.
25,000.
We can reach the 25,000 for assets that are bricks, location, and status symbol, let me say.
Of course, yeah.
Of course
yeah,
they
the
are.
style, yeah. La Dolce Vita, that's
the Dolce Vita.
Exactly, yes.
But, we can't forget that the Via Montenapo. I mean, Via Monte Napoleone, Montenapo, as Milanese people usually name it, of course, has been named the most expensive retail streets worldwide.
Yeah, that's where all the super brands are.
Super brands are, but the most most expensive worldwide. That means that it has surpassed the Fifth Avenue, New York, or the Bond Street in London.
It's more expensive than Bond Street.
It's more expensive.
Fifth Avenue
Is the number one. Is the number one.
Lately, or has it been the case for like a few years?
No, just I don't remember exactly, the right date, but it was like probably last year or 2 years ago or something like that. But it's definitely number one, surpassing New York, so the Fifth Avenue and New Bond Street in London.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the reason behind that is, I'm talking about retailers, is that there's a lot of rich people moving into Milan and they want to shop. So there's a lot of demand for these brands anyway.
But I think it's a combination of that and probably the lack of supply. Because, of course, if you want to buy, a tower house, a retail tower house in prime central Milan, there aren't so many of them, honestly. So it's just, just a big square foot, but it's just that one. So probably it's just a combination. But by the way, it has been named, the most expensive one. So
this is very interesting.
It
Daniela.
is. It's very interesting.
And also do you think the variation of prices, you told me we can go from 5,500 per square meter, and that's all Milan, to 25,000.
Yeah.
This variation, this difference, do you see it in London? Is it the same case in London where we see this gap?
Well, I think so, and I think so. And this is a very good point, yours. And if we decide, for instance, to go to the mid-range location, definitely prices are definitely, more accessible, on brackets, accessible, of course.
Relatively, yes.
Yeah, relatively, with a very, like Porta Romana, Isola, and so on, with a very good appreciation. But in that case, in any case, let me say, it really depends on the status of the building, new build or a property that is in need of refurbishment. But in any case, prices are more accessible. But the interesting thing is that if we go in the immediate hinterlands or in places with a very good commuting, like Bergamo is a lovely city with 40 minutes driving distance from Milan, or Brescia, or Lecco, or Como.
Okay, I want you to repeat those again because I want to make sure that the audience knows exactly the names of these cities.
Oh, yes, please. Yeah,
so
yeah.
We're talking about
Bergamo.
Bergamo.
Bergamo, Brescia, Como Lake, Lecco Lake, Garda Lake, Turin. I mean,
these are cheaper, Daniela?
Well, it really depends on the locations, of course, because if you buy like a mansion, in Bergamo, which is a medieval city, a mansion that overlooks Milan, of course, the prices will be higher. But generally speaking, what I want to say, Mohammed, is that in the hinterland, prices can be 70% cheaper than prime central Milano. That's what I want to say.
Okay.
And it's pretty common, to speak with entrepreneurs like CEO and whatever, people who set their businesses in Milan, but at the same time, they decided to live in nearby cities. Bergamo, we said, Brescia, Milano, Portofino, why not?
Oh, yeah, why not? Absolutely.
Where housing is less expensive and the quality of life is definitely better.
So people are willing to commute.
100%. 100%. If I may say, sorry to interrupt you, Mohammed, but it's a panel reminiscing about what we've always experienced in London with so many commuters, traveling on a daily basis, from their places outside of London.
Up to 2 hours sometimes.
And sometimes 3 hours. We have to be very honest, And, to reach their offices, in prime central London. This is the same dynamic that we said at the beginning of our conversation.
Which brings me to ask you about other cities. So we were discussing cities around Milan.
Yeah.
But if we were to look at Italy in general.
Italy, yeah.
Yeah. For example, Rome. Would you think that it has the same potential to become as interesting as Milan?
Well, this is a very good point because I reckon that Milan has an undisputed leading power in terms of asking prices and demand.
Okay.
But for sure, the Milan's effect. benefits, the whole country and other areas for sure. Then, of course, every area has its own dynamics. It's pretty normal. But Rome that you mentioned, the amazing Rome, if we compare the residential market in Rome with the Milano ones, the Romans one hasn't registered a very strong appreciation in the last years. But if you pay attention on the hospitality sector, it has continued to receive a very strong interest from local and international institutional investors. That caused prices inflated. In fact, when you are in due diligence, of course, you have to rebalance everything, expectations with the right values.
Correct.
But I want to say another thing, just going back to the residential market in Rome, which has completely different dynamics from the one in Milano. When you buy a property in Rome, sometimes it's really difficult, to set the right asking price, because it's not just about, bricks and locations, but it's just about buying a piece of history. I don't want to be banal, Mohammed, but this is the truth. I was in Rome 2 months ago, I think, with a lovely couple, a British woman with her Australian husband. And they wanted to buy something in Rome. And I was waiting for them. I was in Campo de Fiori in Rome. I was just looking around, browsing and whatever with my espresso and whatever. I said, oh my goodness, how many, top floor flats with terrace are there in Campo de Fiori? And we can say the same thing in other places, near Fontana di Trevi or,
And the terrace is spectacular because you're looking at history.
But the point is that they are rare. They are rare. That's the point that I want to stress. And what I want to say is that, of course, Milano is an international hub, really unique for many reasons, by the way. But, Milano is in Italy, and Italy is a country with more than 3,000 years, and Italy is the crib of Dante, Galileo Galilei, Michelangelo.
The proud
Leonardo, Raffaello.
The proud Italian is coming out. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. A lot of culture.
A lot of culture, Mohammed. So the point is that their culture, their vision has shaped, that's my point of view, of course, but not only mine, I think. They have shaped the meaning of beauty, the real meaning of beauty. If you think about the Roman Empire, it led, the Western civilization, and when you are there in some, streets, in Rome, when you walk in the evening, in streets that are with a lot of intimacy, with not so many tourists around, you can feel the legacy of that heritage. So it's difficult sometimes, to say the right asking price is Rome, by the way.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Which makes me want to bring your attention back to Milan.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say somebody now is interested in buying a property in Milan. A lot can argue that the demand has already shifted the prices, and maybe they're coming at a point of time for the market. It would have been much more smarter to invest like maybe 5-6 years ago. But what advice would you give somebody who says, you know what, I want to enter the Milanese market now?
Well, I'm old-fashioned, so I want to say location.
Absolutely.
That's one to say. But I would definitely, it depends on the resources, of course, but I would definitely focus my attention in properties in need of a strong refurbishment. No matter about the refurbishment. Don't worry about that.
You would look for properties that are in need
of a strong refurbishment. Yeah.
That's your advice.
Yeah, that's my advice. 100% at the moment. Yeah.
Which is why?
Because for at least two reasons. So the first one is that if you refurbish, of course, a property, you can get, the perfect layout that you want to live in. So that's the first thing. And the second one is because, but this is in London as well, everywhere. This is a good method to add value and to protect the value of your property and to add value on it. and to protect, the value, generally speaking, in the long run. That's what I'm saying to you. So definitely I will focus the attention there, but not only in Milan, honestly. If you have the resources to buy in Milan, for sure, 100%. But I would definitely advise to focus the attention on nearby cities, the one that I mentioned you before, 100%. And also in cities where there are the most relevant universities, the one, they are present in like Bocconi in Milano. Bocconi, Pisa, Bologna, and, Politecnico in Turin. Turin is amazing. In 1 hour and a half, you can reach Milan.
And education, you're telling me, in these cities is becoming much better now.
No, always been, a great education. Absolutely 100%. Definitely 100%. And, but those universities, the one we were talking about, are ranked worldwide, are considered the best.
I'm surprised that Bocconi is now ranked as the best for MBA and business administration worldwide. It's even in a score. It was a survey actually, or like a classification done by Bloomberg, released a few days ago. When they calculate the points, Bocconi is number one, is better than Stanford in the US.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just to give you an example. But going back to your question, of course, there are other places where to invest apart from Milan. Okay, we said Milan, if you have the resources, fair enough. So, nearby cities, fair enough. Places with great university, fantastic. But if we go a little bit, if we want to go to the southern places, like Sardinia, Puglia, there are now some great opportunities. We just found, 2 fantastic hotels just in front of the sea that is pretty rare, let me say, Mohammed, and with the white, sand in front of you. So, and this is, an example. Or there is another location where to focus the attention. So Sicily and Calabria. So Sicily will be linked to the mainland, so to Calabria soon, thanks to the Strait of the, to the Messina Bridge.
Oh, okay.
The work will start, I think, this year, in 2025, and they will finish in 2032, I think. So try to imagine what means and the opportunity they will raise, just linking these 2 regions in terms of connectivity, real estate investments, tourism, investments, generally speaking. And this bridge will be the longest one in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it will have the longest span, in the world. And this is a huge, so let me say, Italian project. And it will completely change.
That's very interesting.
Absolutely. So for anyone interested in investments, I would definitely start now to focus the attention on those areas. Because it means that, the northern part has always been stronger in terms of investments. Now it means with this bridge that the southern parts will, probably become as important. Yeah, 100%. 100%, yeah.
Well, Daniela, you mentioned something that I think the listeners will find very interesting. Generally speaking, I just want to get your opinion on refurbishment again.
Yeah.
It makes sense to say, take something worn out and tired, spend some money making it better, and you can always capitalize on the value added to that property. But when it comes to international cities, do you think it's easy to take care of refurbishment yourself in Italy? Like, if I'm a foreigner and I just buy this flat and I say, okay, I want to refurbish it, is that easy?
Well, I think in Italy, yes, 100%. Please consider there are so many contractors. Of course, there will be amazing contractors like every, where, and probably contractors that are not brilliant. Of course, you have to do your own research about that. Yeah. But the point is that we are really very famous for the refurbishment that we usually, carry out in our properties. If you notice, in London as well, Italian contractors are usually very requested, thanks to the way that they usually, refurbish, the property. So it's not a problem. Once that you have the right stakeholders by your side, you can arrange everything properly. And please consider, Mohammed, that a lot of those contractors, Italian contractors, they usually work around the world without any problems. They have different, headquarters in
and
London,
licenses,
in Dubai.
Daniela, is not an issue?
Sorry, say again?
Licensing, like to get the license to do the refurbishment that you want?
No, it's the same thing. If we have to talk about difficult stuff, it's as difficult as in London or as easy as in London. No, absolutely. It's not a problem. Once you have the right people by your side, you can proceed without any problem. So, no. And also for institutional investors, I would recommend to focus the attention on the hospitality sector, giving, its usual and constant returns.
Hospitality, Daniela, when you say hospitality,
hotels,
that's hotels,
accommodation, establishments, and so on.
And that's all over Italy?
Well, let me say, my advice, of course, in the most relevant, of course, and visited places, of course, Rome, Milan, the southern place, Sardinia, Puglia, but definitely, with the right people, stakeholders by your side, you can investigate area by area. You can check the tax, the rate of occupancy, and so you can double check which area
needs it.
Exactly. That's what I think. But it's interesting to note that in 2024, I think Italy has reached a fantastic milestone and welcome about 458, if I'm not wrong, million, overnight stays in accommodation establishment, making it 2.5% more than the previous year. So I mean,
It makes sense. This is Italy after all. I mean, people from everywhere want to visit. Thanks to so many factors that you guys enjoy. But I know that we talked about areas where they have opportunities for growth in Italy, but I want to bring you back again because this is really what listeners and the audience would care about. Areas for growth. If you say Italy has so many diversified cities, and every city has its own character and its own reasons to be there, but where are the areas that you think investors should look out for when it comes to growth?
Yeah. So this is a good point. So we spoke about Milano, we spoke about the nearby city, and I would definitely focus attention on nearby cities, 100%. Because close to the nearby cities, there are some, important villages. And please consider that the northern part is very industrialized with many, many companies have a lot of, headquarters or, branches worldwide. But at the same time, they really offer, a fantastic lifestyle. We spoke about the southern part, so we said definitely so Calabria and Sicily and great opportunities. You know what, in Sardinia, I'm not talking about, the Costa Smeralda, of course, because it has already been discovered, and, it's fine. But there are some places not very well known. They have a lot of potentials. Of course, you have to, deal and to plan everything with, professionals that can show you, the right places there. Absolutely. But, talking about other areas, I forgot probably to tell you one thing. I would definitely focus my attention on agricultural lands.
Oh.
with vineyard included. Because usually they have solid inflation protection returns. And I saw about 1 month ago, I was in Tuscany and in Piedmont as well. And I saw amazing lands with great mansions, vineyards and whatever. And most of them can be, most of the houses, of the mansions, of course, in the lands, can be transformed, the one non-listed, in small boutique hotels. So, Tuscany and Piedmont, you can find everywhere, the right opportunities. And sometimes it's just, it's about, you should be looked after, by the relevant professionals with a real expertise of the area, and then can take you in places that are not very well known, but they have a lot of potentials. Yeah, that's the point.
Again, we discussed refurbishment. You told me that this is your go-to choice.
Yeah.
What about the off-plan market? And because, off-plan for so many people, it provides two important things. They want something new, so that they don't have to bother.
You're done.
You're done. You have the latest technology and the nicest fridge and the nicest kitchen. Another thing is, that you don't need to pay everything up front. Usually it's an installment based over 2-3 years.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And they bet that once it's completed, the price would already shoot by 20%, 25%, just because it's completed. I want to hear your thoughts on the off-plan market in Italy.
Well, there certainly are so many. By the way, I saw a fantastic, just to give you an example, off-plan, development close to Ventimiglia, that is close to Monte Carlo.
Okay. Not bad.
Not bad. But close to Monte Carlo, it means that by boat you reach Monte Carlo in, 10, 20 minutes,
that's a
something
nice
like that. This is nice, I think. But by the way, so just going back, new builds off plan. When is about time to buy an off plan property? And in Italy, there's so many, in Milan, in nearby cities, in coastal, areas.
Yeah, when is the good time?
You can find in the whole country, honestly, everywhere. It's fine. I'm old-fashioned, you remember that, I prefer, but anyway, so it's fine, totally fine. We need them, of course, we need them. But you need to work closely to lawyers or notaries, just to double-check how much reliable are developers. This is crucial, but not in Italy only.
Around the world.
Around the world.
Of course.
100%.
So that advice is for anybody looking into an off-plan.
No, in London as well, everywhere.
Anywhere.
Exactly, that's what I said. And when we talk, so we said off-plan, about new builds, generally speaking, I would definitely pay a lot of attention on the quality of the property.
Which is the quality of the developer.
The quality of the developer, of course, but on other features like the location, so near to the hospital, near to the school, near to the transport connections. So this is fundamental. The building, the quality of the building, the amenities, of course, around, the quality of the property, of the flat that you decide to buy. Sometimes it's better to spend more money for new builds with, nice views, with, a perfect layout and whatever, because that's the only way to protect the value. Because at the end of the day, new builds have a lot of, competitions, if you think about that. So how many new builds we have in London? The same thing is in Italy. How many of them? Okay, so many, of course. So you have to compete with others in the long run. So the best thing sometimes to spend more, for the one with the right view, with the right layout.
The right amenities.
The right amenities, close to schools and whatever, in order to protect and to make it appealing in the long run for other buyers if you decide to sell them. With the parking, I was forgetting the parking as well. So, has to be a complete, let me say, property with all the right things, all the right thing. Yeah.
All the right things for... So you have to bear in mind, if I need to sell it, is there a buyer that will be interested in this because they're looking for this feature or that feature?
This is the most important thing. When you enter the property, you have to wonder, but what about my future buyer in the future, So what about his or her thoughts about my property? You have to be very critical, let me say, very pragmatic when you buy, a new build property. That's my, of course, point of view.
For so many people, the question for when it comes to buying a property abroad, for a lot of people, especially in countries in the Middle East, people want to see what do they get in return. Could they get a permit, a residency? And it's been a very controversial topic for the countries that provided the golden visas, and we know that Spain just stopped it.
Yeah.
What's the situation like in Italy?
Well, unfortunately, the resident, is not. I mean, let me go back. To buy a property doesn't mean that the residency will be for granted.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's impossible, because residency usually is, let me say, linked to other criteria like work, employment, self-employment, family reunification, and whatever. But Italy, the Italian government has set some interesting pathways for some potential future residents. One is the golden visa, that is for potential investors who want to invest in Italian government bonds, or like new startups, or philanthropic projects and whatever. This is interesting. Of course, you have different entry levels, and then the elective residency. This is more probably for retired people, and you have to demonstrate, Mohammed, that you are able to provide for yourself with your own resources whilst you are living in Italy. So this is the two most relevant ones, let me say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were to have a crystal ball, looking into the future, Daniela, what do you see happening to the Italian real estate? I mean, we're talking about not 2026 or 2027, 10 years from now. I know it's a long shot and it's difficult to predict, but what if you were to bet? What would your bet be?
Well, it's complicated because I'm Italian, of course.
Yeah, I know.
And for me, Italy is the most beautiful, place in the country, place in the world, I want to say. And it's also a country very gifted, in my opinion. If you think about its location, it's located in the center of the Mediterranean, and with 8,000, kilometers of coastal major ports. I mean, it's in a fantastic location. And the quality of the life is really amazing. Can I say that? Starting from the foods and lifestyle,
many
generally speaking. Well, it's difficult, of course, to predict, the future for sure, 100%. I think that Italy will be always requested. But the point is today, Mohammed, is that Italy is not only beauty today. Italy has become a tax haven. So that's the point. So this is as completely, change the vision, but for everyone. Because, of course, when you, in the past, think about that, when you spoke about Italy, oh, beautiful, the country, the weather, the food, stylish country, and whatever, but you've never, spoken about, Italy, a tax haven. So
never.
Now, never.
Absolutely.
We have to be very honest.
Yes.
Everything is beautiful. Everything is beautiful to go on holiday for a few days, for some weeks, or like for a few months, if I can afford it. But we've never thought that, honestly, Italy, you know.
Will be a tax save, yeah.
Never.
That's a surprise for many.
Absolutely. So now, I mean, this is a great opportunity, honestly, for this country that deserves it because it's working very hard. We have a political situation that is very stable. We are not better, probably, you know, from others. I don't know, but this government, you know, has worked very well.
It's done an amazing job.
You know, honestly, it is. So what is going to happen? I think that Italy will grow a lot in the next years, for sure. That's what I think. But this is not because I'm Italian and I love my country. But honestly, if I see numbers, if I check things, it's the new London. So that's the point. It's the new London, but with, I may say, a better lifestyle.
With a better lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that kudos to the government nowadays, which the government has managed to turn the Italian economy into a much brighter story compared with a few years ago. Now it's a success story in the European Union. They've actually might be the first country to bring deficit to less than 3.5% of the GDP.
Yeah.
They've done an amazing job. And with that, and with the few minutes left, I want to ask you questions that are completely unrelated to real estate. As an Italian, Daniela, what's your favorite Italian food?
Oh my God, how many years do you have?
All of them, all of them. If you were to pick one.
Oh my God. So, well, it's difficult. Can I say? Okay, so the simplest one. A dish of spaghetti with tomato, very well cooked, with the right ingredients.
As simple as that?
As simple as that.
Your best Italian restaurant in London?
I adore Carlo Cracco.
Okay. And if you were to vacation for the rest of your life in one town in Italy or one city, which city would it be?
I think, honestly, Portofino.
You fell in love with Portofino?
Portofino is something not replicable. It's impossible. It's a gem. It's the atmosphere.
And I like one of my family's favorite is Santa Margherita next to Portofino.
It's excellent. Yeah, Santa Margherita is nice, by the way. It's very nice. But Portofino is, well, it's a gem. It's a village. It's intimacy. It's the same people around.
Yeah.
And there's something special there.
Daniela Diotti, founder of Daniela Diotti Property Solutions. Thank you so very much. And I take this opportunity to tell the audience that the work that you do, you consult basically.
Yeah.
Anybody who's interested to buy or sell in Italy.
Definitely.
Or buy or sell in London,
as well. Yeah.
So that's a little bit about you. Daniela, again, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
وبهذا نأتي إلى نهاية هذه الحلقة من بودكاست نيتر أوفر دينر حتى نلتقي مجددا. هذه أطيب تحية، إلى اللقاء.